What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. If you're here for the first time, like, share, subscribe, turn those bell notification icons on. And for those of you that cannot leave good enough alone, this video is for you. Now, when it comes to a Glock, you can do pretty much anything you want. You can go full on Gucci build, full custom build, whatever you want to do. Most people out there are just looking for a couple of little things to do to maybe make it a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, or maybe a little bit more usable. Say they've got smaller hands or shorter thumbs, they may need something like an extended slide stop slide release, or maybe a nice extended magazine release so they can really work those mag exchanges a little bit quicker out there on the range. Now, training will never be overcome with parts, so you always have to train to be the best you can be, and then start adding on a couple things, maybe to customize. Maybe you want some colors in there, or maybe you just want a little bit more to give you a little bit of an edge if you're thinking about going into competition, or just to beat your personal best. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, is being the best you personally can be with your chosen tool. Now, we are going to talk about a couple of things here that you can do to really up your game without breaking the bank. Now, some of these things are going to range anywhere from 10 to about 60 bucks at the most expensive end of it, and that's going to be a full trigger. So depending on what you're into or where you want to start, there is something in this video for all of you out there that have entered that 2A community, you've purchased a Glock, and you're looking at doing something a little different. Now, there are a lot of these mods also, or these parts available for other manufacturers' brands as well. They might just be in a different price range. So this is, in fact, very specific to the Glock platform. Now, we all know Glock is good out of the box. Glock perfection? Absolutely not. I don't buy into that at all. It is an absolutely great, durable, and proven platform, but it leaves a lot to be desired in the way of ergonomics and trigger work. There's just a lot that could be a little bit better about it. Now, is there anything wrong with running a stock one? Absolutely not. I run stock ones all the time. And some of the stuff we're going to talk here about today are actually Glock parts. They're just a little bit better than what comes in these standard run-of-the-mill, off-the-shelf basic platform. And one of the first things you can do, and probably one of the most budget if you have some polish laying around, is polishing out those internals. That is going to be your connector, your trigger bar, your safety plunger up in the slide. Doing that is going to smooth everything in there out, maybe drop that trigger pull weight a little bit, but it's just going to make it overall feel a little better. It's a process of kind of deburring and polishing. That naturally takes place once you get probably 1,500 to 2,500 rounds, but we can accelerate that process and break it in by polishing it out. Very easy to do. You can do it with an old t-shirt, some towels, whatever, and a little bit of polish. Now, one of the things I do almost immediately on my Glocks is a factory extended slide stop slide release. It is called a slide stop because it's what stops the slide when that magazine is empty. But I promise you, it is also a slide release. That is why Glock sells a factory extended slide stop, so you can more easily activate it and use it as a slide release. There's been a ton of debate on there out there over the years. I have it from Glock directly from their training department. That is to be used as a slide release as well as a slide stop. Now, if you're feeling extra fancy, there are other ones out there like this Tyrant CNC extended one, but it's far more expensive than the Glock factory one. Again, that factory one can be had anywhere. I've seen them from like 10 to 15 bucks in stores, and then if you buy it online, if you buy it when you're buying other stuff, you'll generally get free shipping. So that $10 to $15 price range is not bad for an extended factory part. And cruising right on down the line of factory parts, Glock actually sells factory extended magazine releases. They're still polymer. The Gen 3 version is probably the easiest one to find. And when it comes to the Gen 4 stuff, you usually have to look into an outside producer. Something like, again, this Tyrant one here on a Gen 3, or on this one is a Tyrant one on the Gen 4. Now, when it comes to extended magazine releases, there's a big debate on if they're metal, will they hurt the magazines? For a long time, I used mostly Magpul Glock mags for out on the range and training and all that stuff. I've since gone all the way back to factory mags because I had too many problems with the aftermarket ones. What I will tell you is if you can stick with the either a factory polymer one or an aftermarket polymer one. It seems to do less damage to the magazine in hard and extended use. There are a ton of options out there for that. Vickers has one, Glock store has one, a bunch of other polymer versions out there, and they range anywhere from like 10 to 20 bucks. And if you want those nice kind of machined aluminum ones, they usually run about $25 to $30. And if you really want to go to that next level, talk about a connector. Now, I only use factory Glock minus connectors, and sometimes either the Apex Tactical or the Overwatch. Those are really about the only ones I trust. I've just seen too many problems with the aftermarket ones trying to copy the Glock factory minus connector. I've seen them come out of the box rusted, I've seen them break, I've seen them just cause a lot of problems. Glock makes a factory minus connector. I'll roll in some pictures of the ones that I have. That is really functional. It still maintains a pretty consistent hard wall, drops the trigger pull weight a little bit, but enough to still be an everyday carry, concealed carry trigger. And it's just the best one to go with. Now that's gonna run you anywhere from 20 to 30 bucks. I've seen the prices all over the place on that, and it just kind of depends on where you're buying it from, what price you're gonna find. Now, if you wanna go all in and still not break the bank, you can do in a full trigger, drop-in trigger here. This one specifically is the Overwatch Poly Dat. This has to be one of the best bang for the buck modifications out there on the market for the Glock platform. 59 bucks is generally what you can find these for. It's not an aluminum shoe, it's still polymer, but it's the shoe, the trigger bar, you just drop it right in, go to work. Gives you that great flat face feel. That take up and reset is about 20% less than factory. And paired with that factory minus connector, it really makes an amazing little trigger. Like in this Glock 21 here, you can see definitely better than factory. And still coming in at $59. Maybe you get free shipping, maybe you don't. Sometimes there are coupon codes out there. That's a pretty good price for a trigger. Most triggers or trigger jobs you're gonna see or find out there are far more expensive. So the Overwatch Poly Dat, if you wanna go the full Monty, is definitely one to look at. Either way you slice it, Glocks are like Burger King. You get to have it your way. It seems almost everybody out there is making a connector, a slide, a barrel, a trigger, pretty much any part that'll go on that Glock. There's even full custom aftermarket frames you make yourself, frames you buy from other companies. It is just an endless sea of options, which is absolutely great. It's really up to you to choose whether you want to stay mostly stock, which I've done with this Gen 417, and this is great. This is my workhorse. I use that a ton for my personal practice. Or you can go into that full custom Gucci slide work, optic cuts like this 34 that Boogeyman Customs did, which I love this thing to death, but obviously that's a lot of money. Up to you to decide what you want, what you need, and what fits your budget. I really hope this helped all of you guys out. I really appreciate your guys' time here. If you noticed I got that swag in, Johnny B over at Shall Not Comply was nice enough to take on my brand. If you're interested in that stuff, check out Shall Not Comply. That link will definitely down below for you guys. Get out there, have some fun, find some solid training, especially if you're new to this 2A community. Get out there, enjoy a little bit of that ammo if you can find it, and I will see you guys on the next one.